Let's ask Dr. Ben. Next question is from Tom. Good morning, Tom. Tom asks, are flu shots actually flu vaccines? Yeah, great question. The answer is yes, definitely. There are flu vaccines and there are flu drugs for after you get the flu to try and slow it down a little bit and give your body a chance to respond. But yeah, if you're going in for a flu shot, that is definitely a vaccine. There's a couple different kinds that are out there, and they work in similar ways, but they have little different tweaks. So you can get a very common type of vaccine is one that's going to be grown in eggs. They do it in eggs, and these are eggs with a little tiny chick inside of it, because eggs are just amazing. They grow every kind of flu virus, and every year they have to update the vaccine and maybe make a little tweak in it, or at least examine whether they need to do that. And then they have to put it together, and they use, so a flu virus is actually broken up into a bunch of different segments. I think there are 8 segments in there, and of those 8 segments, only 2 of them encode proteins that are going to be seen on the outside. So when you hear about H3N2 flu, this is the type 3 H protein called a hemagglutinin, and then the type 2 N protein, which is called a neuraminidase. That's kind of how the naming works. And they're going to look at which version of the H3 is circulating right now, and whether or not the version they were using last year protects, or whether they need to update it. And so, yeah, every time they will take a new H and a new N, and they'll put them together with a just sort of a basic virus that doesn't work all that well, but it works well enough to grow in chicken eggs. Like it's a chicken specialist, very good at growing in chickens, not great at growing in people. And so it's going to be a mild version of the virus. And then you can get that in a couple different forms. You can get that as live virus, something you would squirt up your nose. That's something that's been tried. It was really effective for a year or two there, and it's not, the effectiveness fell off for reasons that are not really clear. It may have just been a small sample where they got really lucky with the people they were treating. And so mostly what you would get would be that sort of virus, but they will break it up. And when it's broken, and they'll take out the RNA, it'll just be the proteins from the broken virus. The proteins are what your body is going to respond to and make antibodies and T cells against. And so, yeah, that's really all you need. And if they're just putting in protein, it's not like that can really hurt you. There are a very few cases of bad vaccine reactions with just these proteins. But mostly when that happens, it means that the person had an underlying condition, something that was already really, really on the edge of being terribly wrong. And you just notice it after this. But no, it's a very safe way to vaccinate. And there are also egg-free versions. You can grow it in, there's a kind of a dog cell that grows the virus very well. That's one way to do it. And yeah, basically any way that you make this virus up, you're going to harvest it, you're going to break it down into its components, and then inject that. And a normal vaccine would have usually 4 different flu virus proteins, components in there. And it just lets your body make a nice response to all the things that you could get infected with in the year. And so if you have that, yeah, the vaccine is actually pretty good at blocking the flu. Better than 50%. I think it's higher. I think it's up in the 60s or 70s maybe. In terms of how many people that get the vaccine will be guaranteed to be protected. And it's really up to your body's immune system, how much it pays attention to the vaccine. Everybody's a little bit different. But yeah, good question, and glad we could get this out there. Yeah, flu shots are totally vaccines. Thank you very much. This has been Ask Dr. Ben.